guys, I am so excited. I am joined with Ashley Barbour today. Her and I met through advocating for Elsa, which is you fellow faces, you might know a little bit about the Elsa bill. And she is just amazing. She has an incredible platform called Cleft Love, and she's so gracious to spend her time with us today. Ashley, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. I love anytime we get to talk about any of this. So thank you so much for thinking of me.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. I want to start. So our theme this year is Feed and Served and the hospitality industry. I wanted to start with kind of a fun little question. Do you have a favorite or most memorable dining out experience?
Oh, I don't. Do you have one? Can I hear your story? And then,
I was thinking about, I think the first time I went out with a group of friends, like probably 16 or 17.
huh?
And I just feel like dining out felt like such an adult experience.
Yeah.
Was it really not? But it just felt so independent and I could pick whatever I wanted to, and my
Uh-huh.
parents weren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not maybe my most favorite moment, but you saying that made me think of one time. I think I was like 14 ish. And I went with my best friend at the time to the Olive Garden. And back in the day, the Olive Garden was like the fancy place to go.
It was.
And so I remember we put on our like eighth grade formal dresses and then we went to the Olive Garden. Had the best time. But yeah, just love food and going out to eat and
Wow.
getting fancy drinks and trying new things. And I feel like there's nothing that I wouldn't at least try once.
Yeah, love it. I'm not an adventurous eater at all. So I love when other people try things and then tell me how it is.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I love it. So, with our theme of Scene and Surge, we're talking about living with facial differences and being out in public spaces. And I wanted to ask you, maybe through the lens of advice for younger people with facial differences, how do you navigate a world confidently and take up space while having a facial difference?
Oh, that's always the question, right? And
Mhm.
I think for me anyway, like confidence can really vary day by day.
Mhm.
And I think you can start off feeling really confident and then an encounter can all of a sudden shake that and kind of turn everything on its head.
Mhm.
Um it it's like I feel like so cliched to just say that it really does have to just start with yourself, but it really does.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, for me, something that makes me feel confident is I like to dress up. I like to do my hair. I like to do makeup. I like to do um, things that just make me feel good about myself. And so, yeah, I really think that's kind of where it starts. Is is within our own selves, and then we portray a confidence to the world. And that doesn't mean that nothing negative is ever going to happen. But I do think when you're perceived as a confident person, it helps. It helps with social interactions.
Yeah, I've noticed that's a theme with everybody I've talked to recently of like that inner confidence and portraying that confidence is helpful.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you too, and this is a conversation that I've also been having with people of living with a facial difference and educating people and sort of feeling like maybe you're always having to be the educator. But I do want to ask, like, what sort of advice do you have for people in very like customer facing roles when they meet someone with a facial difference? What sort of advice would you want them to know?
I feel like the biggest thing for me is like just treating people like they're everyone else. Like you don't always have to ask. Like when you were talking about educating, I know for some people it can feel like a real burden. For in certain situations, I really enjoy the education and advocacy piece. That's why I do what I do. But I will say the couple times that it has like come up when I'm not wearing that hat,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like just regularly at work. Um, it feels a little jarring. So I feel like the best thing to do is just carry on like the other person is a normal person, which we are. And just yeah, like you don't always have to know um why somebody looks different, I guess. So I think that was your question. Like
Yes.
someone who's interacting with someone with a facial difference,
Mhm.
like just keep on keeping on and be kind.
Yeah. It's so simple. And like every time I ask that question, like it's such a simple answer of like, just be kind and treat them with respect. There isn't a secret formula to it.
Yeah.
There's
And you know,
not,
it's
yeah.
it's always interesting though, because like I also feel like there's this fine line of like where you don't owe someone an explanation of like why you
Mhm.
look different.
Yeah.
And for me, I think I would rather have somebody ask about it than wonder, or I would rather that I don't know. I just found when I was growing up that like if people knew why I looked
Mhm.
different, then they were not as likely to be mean or say mean things, and they were then more likely to go out and sort of spread the awareness and education, which then helped me. So I know people aren't always like tactful when they ask, but for me, sometimes I would almost rather that they ask.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sticky thing because I also know
Yeah.
everyone's different, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's so like situational too, right? Like there are some situations where like maybe it is appropriate to like sit down and chat about it, and maybe like you just want to get your coffee and go
Yeah.
on with your day, and you don't want like I
Yeah.
joke that my parents are like my Wikipedia page. Like when we go to doctor's appointments and things, they just like rattle off
Yeah.
everything. Sometimes you don't want to walk around with your Wikipedia page
That's
with
right.
you. Yeah.
That is true. That is very true because yes, and I guess that's also a thing, right? I mean, like it doesn't have to be either or. Like you can
Mhm.
enjoy advocating and then also enjoy times where you don't want to do it. And so I think being confident in knowing that you don't have to say give
Mhm.
an answer if you don't feel like it that day, and just say, "Oh, like now isn't a time I really want to talk about that," or something like that.
I love it. It all comes back to confidence.
You know, always.
But I wanted to ask you too, do you have any experiences with the hospitality industry? I'm curious, you're very world traveled. Do you notice that some countries are just more hospitable?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Mhm.
So what I have found the most about traveling, the more I
Mhm.
do it, um, again, I think I'm just like serving cliche after cliche today. But the more I travel, the more I realize it to be true that people are people everywhere. And for me, I have also learned that like the world, most people are good, is what I
Mhm.
believe. I remember this was not while I was traveling, but once when I was young, I had a fanny pack with like all my allowance in it. We went to Target, lost
Right.
it. I left it in the bathroom, and my mom, I was like freaking out. I was like, because it was cash back then,
Yeah.
and my anyway, we ended up finding it at the desk. Like somebody had turned it in, all the money was there. And I remember my mom at the time being like, most people in the world are good. And I remember before I started traveling, I had a lot of like misconceptions potentially about other countries and how safe they are. And of course, it's important to, be aware while you're traveling. But overwhelmingly, I've just found that people are people everywhere and most people are good. And um, that's why I think I really love going to places where the language and the culture and things are vastly different from here, because it's just beautiful to get to see, I don't know, the good people in all the corners of the earth.
Yeah. I love that. And I think that goodness transcends any difference or distance or language barrier or anything.
Yes. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Which is really special. I remember, um, so the first big trip I took that where I was like traveling kind of by myself, and um, I was my anxiety was through the roof the entire time. But
Mhm.
I went to Peru. A thing about me is I hate flying, like I hate it. Um,
Yeah.
And when I went to Peru, I hadn't flown in 10 years because I decided I didn't need to travel and I would be happy just exploring the states around me. I got the opportunity to go to Peru, which was really amazing. But I remember flying from Lima to a smaller town called
Mhm.
Cajamarca. And I was on the airplane and I was obviously very nervous. And I remember the guy next to me had initially had his whole like setup with his headphones and his phone, and he was going to be doing whatever. And he could see that I was really nervous. And he didn't speak English very well, but he like took them out and he was like, are you okay? Like, is it okay if I talk to you? He was like, my English isn't very good, but I would love to just chat. And so he proceeded to like talk to me the entire flight, which was really sweet. And anyway, so just good
Oh,
people
I love
everywhere,
that.
which I love.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. What does being seen and served mean to you?
Being seen and
Mhm.
served. Hmm. I don't know. Being seen. I like to be seen as like a whole person, right? I mean, I think it's easy when you have um, a visible difference to be seen or recognized for that, right? Like, and I think often people recognize me easily, and I think it's because I look a little different, so I'm like more memorable. My mom would say maybe it's just because I have really beautiful eyes, um, but I think it's because I look a little different. So I guess to truly be seen um, means seeing me as a whole person, and that also includes the visible difference I have, right? And just appreciating who I am, every part of me. To your point about like being a giver, basically,
Mhm.
that's also very much me. Um, and so I find it much harder in personal relationships to
Mhm.
ask for things. So like
Mhm.
I am always the one who, you know, does the things and it's like no big deal. I always think it's no big deal until like later I'm like, why doesn't anyone do these things for me? And I'm like, because you told everybody that you didn't mind doing it. So yeah, so I think maybe there's a difference in
Mhm.
like when I'm paying for service versus like
Yeah.
service in personal
Mm,
in my personal life.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I love it. Anything else you want to add for Face Equality Week?
I don't know. I think I'm just like so excited that Face Equality Week, is a
Yeah.
thing and that we're raising awareness. And I just feel so lucky to be a part of talking with you and all of these other like amazing people that you talk to, and that we're out there just spreading the word and raising awareness. Slowly but surely. I think sometimes it can feel like I don't know, maybe like a slow process or slow
Mhm.
but I think we just keep on keeping on. And I have already seen a big difference from
Mhm.
20 years ago, 30 years ago. So, um, yeah, I'm just really proud to be part of this and proud of being part of this movement with you and so many other amazing advocates out there.
Yeah. I love it. It feels like we're watching big change happen. And it happens slowly, but it's really cool to witness it.
And I feel like the world is ready. Sometimes I think
Yes.
timing is important for so
Mhm.
many things. But I think, yeah, like I think the world is ready for something like
Mhm.
this. And so it's exciting to get to be a part of it.
Ashley, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, this was such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. I always love talking to you.